French fries is better. Black power every second of the motherfucker hour. I was clean with it.
So we're going to talk about AB 1315. Now, although this bill now is waiting to be referred to committee, it's at the starting line, put it that way, and it has not been given the green light to go through the process. But we support this bill, and we support this bill because it is a comprehensive bill that will give us a ABC for a free member bureau. Okay, so AB 1315 creates the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency dedicated to verifying and supporting residents who are American freedmen, descendants of people emancipated from chattel slavery in the U.S. by providing free genealogy services through a new Office of American Freedmen Genealogy. AB 1315 formally recognizes and identifies American freedmen as a distinct and foundational American population. This will enable the state to deliver timely, targeted, tangible, direct resources and services to improve their unique current economic and social conditions that we all know what that's brought on by. So AB 1315 makes CAFAA transparent. What is that CAFAA, Reggie? Is that the
California African American Freedmen Affairs Agency?
There you go. Miss Raphael knows it all.
Thank you. There's so many acronyms. So this AB 1315 makes it transparent and accountable to the public. The other bills do not. While protecting and respecting the privacy of American freedmen residents. The other bills are putting our information under the Department of Justice. And we have issues with that. The head law enforcement
DOJ
department in the U.S. in the California government. So we have issues with that. That needs to be explained by the legislature of what the role of the DOJ is. Just don't do things and not tell people why you're doing them. But that's what's going on, and when you ask, you don't get the answer. So, AB 1315 establishes the California. So that's a long summary of it. I read you the short summary. So this is what it does. It establishes the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. That's the CAFAA, headed by a governor-appointed, Senate-confirmed secretary. So elections they matter because they're going to pick who is going to be over the agency. So it does matter. And we want that person to be black, of course. The agency will serve as a key institution in honoring the historical and current contributions of this unique and foundational American population. As written before, there's a lot of other things about AB 1315, but
Carol, can I just recommend on the other side of that part? That explains those reasons why it's the benefit.
So let's talk about why we need CAFAA. Okay. The CAFAA bill, it was written by the California grassroots, that's us.
Yes, yes.
Has the support of the community, and when I say it was written by us, Bill SLA brought us in. He sat down with Chris and the advocacy team, and they wrote that bill together, something the Black Caucus did not do with us.
They didn't even offer to do.
They didn't even offer.
He's a Republican.
And American freedmen require help with genealogy to verify that their ancestors were emancipated from slavery in the U.S. Number 3, the CAFAA bill protects the information privacy of American freedmen, including from law enforcement. American freedmen have never been formally recognized by California, and this bill will do that. California has no state agencies dedicated specifically to serving American freedmen. And so those are the reasons why, and I think some of you may have this, but I will make it available to you as well. But that's it, that's all
And
I
may
have.
I add
Sure.
one point, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So this is a lot of information, and we don't mean to overwhelm you and inundate you with all of this, but it's a serious issue. And it demands serious attention, and that's what we've been providing, and we're trying to make sure that you know what's happening. There's a lot of efforts at misinformation and disinformation. And as we get closer to our goal, those efforts will ramp up. Let me assure you, you can go to that cjec-official.org website, and you can see what we are advocating for. You can, and that's my alarm, pardon me, for a CJEC meeting.
That's our time.
So you can go to our website, and our website will have all kinds of things. We actually have what's a CTA, that's a call to action. You'll see a number of our calls to action on the website. These are things that you can sign on for social media. That's their website, and you can sign on for social media. This will be ways that you can contact your representatives, your legislators, and let them know how you feel about it. They need to hear from us.
Yes.
They think that there's an absence of voices, that means that nobody's engaged. We're absolutely engaged. But they keep us so overwhelmed with all kinds of responsibilities and things to do that it looks like we are engaged. We're absolutely engaged. So CJEC is here to support you. That site will be a good tool for you to find all of the things that are happening and to weed out some of the things that are trying to mislead. So
And
thank you.
And this is where you, thank you, Raphael. This is where you start. CJEC, California Reparations and Reparative Justice for American Freedmen at CJEC-official.org. This is where you start. This is where you get connected. What I have is just to help you navigate it, but this is where I started.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I want to talk about too, last year they allocated $12 million for us to start the implications into like the American Freedmen's Affairs Agency. Now if you look at the COBC, they've taken 6 for that, and they tried to take the other 6 to give to the CSUs, which we already know where that money's going to go. Last time I checked, ain't no genealogy study in those CSUs.
Yep.
So they're going to be double dipping. They have African studies, but now they're already getting paid. So we're going to have to follow that $6 million. And we already know that these COBC members are very, very crafty. You know, very crafty. They got their own. I think even not too long ago, we found Bill Asaley has got promoted.
Yes.
And he's the attorney, U.S. attorney. And Queen here told them to do some investigation on Lhasa. 12, what, billion or million?
24
billion.
billion.
$24 billion just disappeared.
In 5 years. Yeah.
It just disappeared. While you got homeless out there, as of today, the numbers is growing. The last time I checked, it's going to be the elders going to be homeless next. I was at a meeting yesterday, Corey Jackson in Moreno Valley gave a little presentation to his constituents, and I was in the house. And I approached him, and he was kind of scared of people pulling the mic and asking the questions, so he made us write the questions on the card. And so he's up there stumbling, and I mean, trust me, I was there first. As always, I'm there first, and I filled my card out first. So I just saw him slowly but surely putting mine at the back. At the back.
Shuffling the deck.
But he said, we're gonna get through all these questions and everything. So I approached him about his promise. And I said, where's mine at? You know, this is Reggie. Oh, okay, Reggie. Now, I posted everything live. And I asked him a question. Well, two questions. The second one I asked was first. I said, why do we need another study for reparations on genealogy when the task force said that we don't need no more study? So it went viral. I put it on there, and he was all discombobulated. And then I had this shirt on. I washed it last night, but I had this one on. But I had my coat zipped up. And then I did like this. I unzipped it. I said, Corey, I'm from CJ. Coalition for. He said, I said, you're lying. I said, all information you just now saying. He went from the 1403, the SB 1403 to the genealogy study. I said, no, and I corrected him. And then he said, okay, and the next card was another question from me. He said, Reggie. First was Reginald. The next one I put Reggie. He said, oh, I already answered your question.
Oh, you got him.
He said, let me let somebody else go. And then all of a sudden it kept going. I said, hey, I got another question. So he finally at the end got to my second question. And my question was this. When it went viral with Chris approached him in his office in the hallway and asked him about why you are not advocating and supporting our elders getting guaranteed payments from descendants of African Americans. And he went on to say that, well, he said he wasn't going to do it when Chris approached him. He said it's not just for one type of people. So he went on and said that, well, I'm trying to do it, I'm doing it, but I'm doing it for everybody. I said, that's not reparations. Our elders need their money now. 60 and up need theirs now. And so, you know, he lollygagged, and it was only 10 black people in the audience, and I gave them all a thing, and they came up to me after. They was like, we're following CJ. Because they caught him in a lie. The first one they caught him in a lie because he was running about the genealogy stuff, and he said, well, get with my office member and I'll teach you something. I said, no, maybe I'll teach you something. You know what I mean? Because he was my cousin Jerry right here. I'm in training right now. I'm about to get my certificate. And how long we've been studying genealogy? I know it half as good as him now. And I'm glad that I knew it because I was able to defend our people about genealogy. It's simple. Very simple. They can find out everything. Every single thing on Freeman Fridays, Freeman Bureau Fridays. Those systems, we have up to 80 people on there. And you ask a question on there, and they look here, somebody gonna know. So it's not a hard thing to do. So as far as tracing our genealogy is easy. It's like Jerry said it, that's what they do. They study it, and that's all they do. But before we close, we're gonna let Sister Queen right here, Trupe, give you guys some kind words, and after that we got some announcements to make because we're about to take this to a whole other level. A lot of people come up with solutions, but what? You need resolutions. And what we're doing is with the PCT, the political change team, we're trying to dethrone the COBC, get them out of here, and we're trying to replace them. I yield. Black Power every second.
Reggie, can I just ask?
Sure,
Just two
absolutely.
things. So when he mentions reparations, you hear that term thrown about a lot lately. And people think that it's a magic word when they throw it out. And as soon as they say it, everybody's on board because they assume we're talking about the same thing. We're not always talking about the same thing. We advocate for lineage-based, specific reparations. That means it needs to be tangible. Something that we can actually touch.
Not no plaque.
It needs to be targeted. It needs to be specifically lineage-based. It's not all black people. We are talking about descendants of the U.S. chattel slavery system. We're not talking about any other slavery system. They are absolutely welcome to go after reparations for the respective governments. We're talking about U.S. chattel slavery. And it needs to be timely. There is a sense of urgency here. We have a number of our elders that need this support. So please remember those 3 things. When you hear them throw about the terms, reparations, they'll say, oh, we're going to end food deserts. We're going to have more grocery stores in the community. That's great, but that's something you should be doing for your population. That's not reparations. It's not tangible, targeted, or timely. It's not specifically to us. So I just wanted to throw that out
Right.
to help you kind of process it, because it's a lot of information. It's a little overwhelming. Thank you. And I think, gentlemen, you raised your hand at one point with Reggie.
Oh, questions,
Make sure
anybody
you
got
had a
questions?
question.
Yeah, any
Yeah,
questions?
it was,
Sorry, you guys.
One with the acronyms.
Give him the mic, so we can hear back here.
Yeah, Reggie, it was going with the acronyms of COB and the other one.
So the
Say that again.
CLBC.
COB.
CLBC is California Legislators of Black Caucus. There's about 12 or 13 members. When they get into legislating, either assembly members or assembly members, they join that clique. And it's not California Legislators of Black Caucus, it's California Legislators of Black Crackers. That's what I call them, because they cracking the whip. And back in slavery, they made us beat us too, you know what I mean? So that's what they're doing. They are organized underneath Governor Newsom. So he do what they tell him to
They're
do.
beholden
There was another one.
What's that?
The
COBC?
the CAFAA, the
You
California.
named 2.
What, as
I
far
can't
as?
think of it right now.
CLBC is the top dogs that
You named
we're
that one, but
targeting.
it was another one.
The agency of AB 315.
Oh, you mean African American Freedmen Affairs Agency?
It was, you left it as a acronym.
Yeah, California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, CAFAA.
Yeah. It's the same as the American
Yes.
Freedmen Affairs Agency.
Yes.
That is our foundation. If you don't have that agency, you can't do nothing with no bill. You can get all the bills passed that you want, like we had the 1050 that passed that Wednesday, 72 to nothing. Then when Governor Newsom saw that, he said, let's stop the 1403, which is our power bill, and let's stop the 1331, which is the money bill. But if we ain't got the 1403, which was Senator Bradford, who did a great job, salute to him, out of District 35 in Gardena, he knew that if he stopped at 1403, everybody got you got the Japanese have one agency,
Indigenous.
who else? The indigenous, the Native Americans have one. If you don't have that, none of these bills not going to go nowhere. So therefore, that's why when it got to his desk, the 1050, the SB 1050, the eminent domain bill, he stopped it. And we have about 2,900 more properties that was stolen like Bruce's Beach.
Right.
So he you know, but however, you still can have 80%. It was 72 to nothing out of 80 assembly members. If they would have stepped up, 80% could have overridden it. But they didn't.
They didn't fight for it.
Because why? He told them to stop it. And when Bill Asaley, District 63, where I'm at in Menifee, he let us know that Isaac Bryant and the rest of the COBC members, the California Legislators of Black Caucus, did not give a damn about us. They didn't want us to get reparations.
And we saw it live stream, so.
Yeah, it was, absolutely.
Dr. Trubay, you had some
Yes.
words?
California's homeless crisis and the $24 million spent.
Real quick, fellas, real quick. All right, so, I think what needs to be mentioned, here, thank you, ma'am, is does anybody know the difference between an agency and a bureau? Okay, I didn't know myself until Mr. Chris Lodgen said, it's very similar, but there's a slight difference, okay? An agency, which is AB 1315, which is the author, Bill Asaley, it's a standalone agency. That means the only people that are required in terms of, what am I going to put it? I'm drawing a blank right now.
They have
Accountability, right? Usually it's just one director, as my sister, Dr. Trubay said. there's accountability there, but it's usually one. That means more of the community is able to get with the agency, right? The Bureau, even though it does have some power as well, it's underneath a department, for example, like the California DOJ. So that's something that I think that's really important that we needed to know, because what the CLBC is doing, instead of making it an independent arm like any of the other agencies they have out there right now, right? The governor has an agency, right? The Commerce, they have an agency. The Financial, they have agencies, all right? Were you gonna say something, Dr. Ray?
No,
Okay, all right. So I think that was just very important, that the CLB is trying to put it underneath the California DOJ as a bureau. Literally, that's in the bill, a bureau, but the AB 1315 is an agency. I just want to make that point. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Thank you for that
Who wants the
discussion.
police to have the information? Who want the police to just be able to, DOJ is nothing but the police. That's just like, when you do your DNA, they can just give it to the police and they can do whatever they wanna do with it. You gotta understand, ours, like they try to, let me see, they try to like badmouth, 23andMe or whatever, but it's not a badmouth on it, because when you go onto these different genealogists and DNA sites, there is a clause, a privacy clause.
They don't care.
And how dare them if they will not try and give up a lawsuit and give your information to nobody, because they would really shut them down.
That's correct.
You know, it would shut them down. So the DOJ, you just like giving your information to the police,
That's correct.
straight up.
So can I say this about the DOJ? They actually already operate to provide protection of our privacies. So it's another redundant and confusing thing that is put into the bill. I have no idea why they are saying that the DOJ is gonna have the data. They're just gonna be over the privacy and the protections of the citizens like
No.
everyone else.
Right. All right, well,
That's
That's
what
the
they say.
definition.
I understand.
yes, Brother Jerry?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not
Do you
gonna
have a
happen.
question?
No, it's not a question. It's just
Any question or comment?
It's just a comment.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
well,
Pass it
that,
the mic, could you?
well,
Loud as he is?
yeah, thank you. Effectively, I've had the question in regards to this data, you know, whatever that is. I mean, I know what it is, but, okay, we'll just leave it at data. Genealogy, with Jerry, etc. Who's responsible for this data center to where it is remaining private? I'm talking about outside of DOJ who say that they're not gonna provide the cover. As long as somebody else on the outside that can tap into it, you know, a la, what's this clown's name?
Hello, Wi-Fi?
No. Thank you. All those clowns. You see what I'm saying?
This what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, like, you know what DOG is?
Dodge.
Yeah.
Right. That's Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets in that, what you call it, DOG?
DOJ, Department of Justice,
That's
is
correct.
not the same as.
No, it's not the same, however, but in principle, these people are always doing some kind of workaround justification,
Yeah.
okay, to tap into your personal information. Whether it's social security, your previous past life, some of your relatives, okay, to attach whether it's crime to you. I'm just telling you, these databases have got to be protected completely
Which is
independent.
why we can't be complacent, right?
Yeah.
Which is why we have to be proactive, right? Brother Jerry?
Yes, that's Bonta is a head of DOJ.
Rob Bonta, yes.
What kind of relationship do you have with him?
His wife is in the COBC member. Mia Banta is his wife, so no relationship. So she's basically
She goes along with the,
with
chair.
under Newsom. Banta's under Newsom. So yeah,
Yes.
Mia Banta is his wife.
Yeah, so Rob Bonta is the one that was responsible for helping to establish the reparations task force to begin with. AB 3121. But as the last day of the hearing, which was June of 2023, where the final report, 1,100 pages to be exact, of studies, of harms that we already know was in this beautifully crafted book.
Yes.
And guess who received a hardcover, gold inscripted cover of the book was each of these members. Yet the population, we got barely
We have a PDF.
we have a PDF version of a paperback
No, we got the 500, the halfway one.
that some of us, if they were lucky.
The summary.
But we're saying this because, again, they didn't even have enough funding throughout the task force hearings of the 2 years to provide copies of anything, to even provide water. Okay, for sometimes these hearings are 4 or 5 hours long. Because the Department of Justice said, we only have a certain amount of budget. Again, we have to be proactive, family. They keep peeing on our leg and saying it's raining because we're not in these political spaces. Start with your local city council.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Find out what day they meet
Yes.
and be there. Sit there and listen to how they run motions and agendas. This is your taxes. And if we are not in these spaces, you know who's in these spaces? People that want to save the dolphins. They come in busloads and they get bills passed for animals, crying for horses and dogs and stuff. While we and our children get the bottom of the barrel, because again, God said for us, not just prayer, faith without works is dead. Right? So I don't want to hold you up too much, but I do have a closing call to action. As we mentioned in the beginning, for us to be politically inclined. Secondly, to study and to research House Resolution 194. This is going to be the most important piece of legislation for us moving forward because it's already written. Hi, greetings, brother. How you doing? Just snuck in here. All right,
Been here
King.
a minute.
This is a federally recognized bill that tells you what they did to us during chattel slavery. So again, what the task force did from 2020 to 2023 was reestablish that harms, the information of that harms in a book. But the bill was already written, and it was written by Stephen Cohen, U.S. Senator Cohen. Yeah. See that last name? That's one of us. They know what's up. But if we are not in these spaces again in tune, then they're going to keep on going over our heads. So, AB 1315, the Freedmen's Bureau Agency, is the hottest thing on the ticket right now. Creating this Freedmen's Bureau Agency has to be created by us, for us, so that way the people who do qualify for reparations, that they're able to have an agency that will help distribute that will help register them, right, to make it finalized. Also, to make a change, you've got to be in the forefront. So we have a couple of our CJEC members that are nonpartisan that are going to be running for office in 2026. First, yes, give a round of applause. I want to give the future Miss 69,
Yes,
District-
District 69.
District
in Long Beach.
69, Long Beach, to give your 1-minute spiel to the people and to support that. And then we're going to have the second candidate come and introduce themselves as well.
Well, again, my name is Carolyn Essex. I live in Long Beach, California, and I am in Assembly District 69. I will be running in 2026.
Yeah! There we go. There we go.
With the help of all of you, we have to do this together. Not many step up, and it's just a courageous thing to do because it is a very difficult process. And just like the bills, we meet barriers. Filing fee is like $1,200. You have to get thousands of signatures in order to qualify to be on the ballot. And so I'm stepping up. I've spent 30 years in politics and community service. I work for the City of LA in the Community Development Department, And that's all we did was to help develop neighborhoods, small businesses, assistance to families, working families for childcare, summer program jobs for the youth. All of those things seem to have gone by the wayside, especially for our youth, especially for our black men. And so I am running because of all of the shenanigans that are going on at the Capitol in Sacramento. It is ridiculous. And so I'm gonna step up and run in my district. And when we win, we will have someone inside of Sacramento. And I have told Chris this and a lot of other people that were on some of our calls and some of our Zooms. When I'm elected, CJEC will be part of my staff. They will be my paid staff. I will not go there by myself and have the people that I have been working with for the last 2 years not with me. We deserve that. That's what we deserve. We deserve real people who care about us and won't switch up. And so that's why I'm running. I was born in Watts. You know, I grew up in the IE in San Bernardino, and born and raised up in the 60s and 70s. So JFK assassinated, MLK assassinated, RFK assassinated. This is the stuff that I realized that I grew up with.
Oh, yeah.
Very disturbing what this country has done to black American freedmen. Very disturbing. And for a black caucus to say that they're a black caucus and not fight for us like warriors, Ogun, all of that, how dare they? I can't sit back. I have worked my entire life to help my community come up and be represented in the economy of this state and of this country. That means small businesses, that means higher education, that means Head Start, that means all of the things that we need to prepare our legacy and to have generational wealth. We must be a part of the economy. We are not a part of the economy in that way. We must have businesses in our neighborhood that we
Control.
Absolutely.
Control.
We have to have that vision. And so that's why I'm running, because I want people to understand there are still people on this earth who want the best for black people, period. Period.
Amen.
When we look at other groups of people, immigrants, and how they, we're so sorry for them, but they may be illegal or, and they're receiving monies. We uncovered millions and millions of dollars. Billions. Now it's billions. I have nothing against immigrants, but you cannot erase black people.
No. That's right. Well, that's the plan.
And you cannot feel sorry for one group of people and not for another group of people that don't have the same opportunity, don't have the same support. And so I'm running with my heart, and I hope that I will see all of you on the trail. I will be filing my paperwork in May, and I do have information with me, and am taking any kind of donation, $1, just to show me that you support, and that we can keep in touch, and that we can make this happen, because it could happen.
Amen. One more thing.
Thank you.
Let me add one more thing.
Yes, you have a comment?
Let me just make this statement.
Sure.
How many in here have Sirius XM radio? Anybody?
That costs too much.
No, it don't. I'm gonna help you out, Reggie. Okay. Anybody aware of channel 126? Urban View? Okay. A wealth of information that occurs all across this nation, including the topic of reparation. I encourage everybody to listen in. From a historical standpoint, there's a Dr. Carr for all you insomniacs like myself who are awake 3 o'clock in the morning, listening for weird sounds around my house.
With your pistol in your hand.
Well, it's very close. But anyway, the point is, you get very enlightened additional information, all leading to what we're talking about right here today. But from an whole nation side, it's up to date. People that have thought things out critically, factual, not false information, not propaganda, but very, very intelligent, factful hosts of the radio shows. You got your, like I said, Dr. Carr. You got Lamont King, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. You got followed up with Laurie Daniels. She's at 7 o'clock in the morning. Followed up with Clay Kane. Followed up with Karen Hunter. Please listen if you can.
Thank you.
126.
All right. Thank you for that.
Oh, real quick,
Make sure
before
you
you,
get that.
anybody else have any questions or comments this far? Because we got one more to close out with, but this one's gonna be, keep, like they say, keep your fork ready, because next one's gonna be kinda hot. Anybody else have any questions or comments on what you guys just witnessed today about reparations and what we stand for? One more, okay.
Keep your eye,
Jim, speak a lot of, I can't hear you now.
please keep your eye on the Weber family.
Yes.
Yes.
Watch them closely.
She's Secretary of State, and her daughter has ascended to her position. It's important for us to stay close to them. They're in the San Diego area.
Your area.
Yes. And whatever they decide, we haven't heard from Dr. Weber lately. But when she started this reparations, she circumvented the system. She didn't go through all the channels, but she knew the game. And that's how she was able to get it started without going through all this political. They take care of each other. So all I'm saying to you is keep your eye on the Webers. Because Dr. Shirley Weber, she's going to know. She's a Secretary of State, and her daughter is she's the chairman now of the Black
Of the
Caucus.
COBC.
Yep, she's here on the screen.
She
Yes.
is the chair of the COBC.
All right, so keep your eye on the Webers.
She's the head of the COBC, the California Legislative Black Caucus, the ones who turn on us.
And then the other thing I recommend that you do is, and this is what's getting ready to jump off, they are going to be connecting with the colleges, the state colleges.
Trying to get that $6 million.
Well, it's not tried. They are going to be connecting with the state colleges. So contact your state colleges in your area
And be a part of it.
and be a part
Be
of it.
all of it.
And the black professors know who they are. Because that's where it's coming. Because the state doesn't want to duplicate services. And if there is something, they want to come under the state, they don't want to duplicate service, and that's why they're going through the state colleges. Go ahead.
Mr. Moss,
There you go.
CJEC does have a BSU outreach a group. And we are working every single day to do just we're working every single day to do just what you're saying, to be in touch with the BSUs. And also, we just gave a presentation in up north, our up north team gave a presentation to a middle school about reparations. They were invited into the classroom. And so that's really vital for what we want in our vision, to make sure our young people know that this is the truth. This is our history. This is American history. So we do have a BSU outreach group. So I'm really glad that you said that. And we'll be calling you.
And too, you guys know that nowhere in the United States there's African American history through K through 12. And as we just established, we said that we have a 1,100-page documented final outcome of what the task force did for 2 years. That need to be in our curriculum. That's why I was at Temecula City Council meeting, a school board meeting. And Brother Dion, when I first saw it, he was accused of, a white lady told him to go back to Africa.
Wow.
After he said that, no, we need our studies, he was fighting for it. For not CRT, we already know that CRT is on a college level, but just basic African American studies. What they tell us is that we give it to you in February. How many days is February? Well, maybe a leap year. Maybe we got 29 sometime, right? But take the weekends out. We got 20. That is not even scratching the surface of what we need to study, our kids to study and learn about. So that's why we was going to, this was the first district in Temecula right here that put that on the table, and it was shut down. It was shut down. And at that same time, when Pastor Brian Hawkins, it went to one of the meetings, and it went viral. The one that Brother Dion was escorted out of. It was a police officer, off duty, had his pistol on him. He reached for his pistol. And as he was talking to the man, because it got to a point that it was a white man this tall, and there was a little black girl this tall with an African flag around her. He was in the little girl's face. So Pastor Hawkins got in between. And he said, "This is a child, what is you doing?" So the officer came around, and they had it on video. He put his hand and lifted his shirt up, had a pistol on school campus. He was about to pull this pistol on because Brother Brian Hawkins was telling this big old 6 foot, 40, 50-year-old white man to get out this little girl's face. I saw the man at the next one after that. We was at the conference, we was at the meeting, it was only probably about 12 of us blacks. And Brother Dion didn't even say nothing, but the white man behind him said something in the lead chair. Said, "Brother Dion, I'm going to kick you out if you say something else." And we stood up. That's what was on the news. They showed us pointing like it was the white man who said that. But when we got there, it was 6 police officers in the house. 8 of them, actually. 2 of them was on that side and 6 of them was on that side. Then when all of this disruption went on, they cleared the stage. And the one officer said, "Well, I saw everything that was going on." I said, "Well, why you didn't tell him, man, that it wasn't him?" So they come back on there, and so we finished the thing. So when I go outside, they had metal detectors this time. When we came in, the news was there, ABC, CBS. And when I went inside, I left, and when I came out, it was standing room only. Everybody in the parking lot, all the KKK was out there. And they had a metal detector thing and everything, and I saw the guy, the officer, Hoshaw, whatever his last name is, and I looked at him. I said, "Hoshaw," I said, "I know you." He looked at me like, "Who does Negro know me from?" He off duty, he talking to one of the policemen that's radaring and everybody. And I said, "You the one who had your hand on that pistol at that last conference. He lifted his shirt up. He said, I ain't got no pistol. I said, yeah, you don't have one today.
Yeah, he does.
You know? No, he didn't have one on. He put it, well, maybe the throwaway. But see, this is what we are up against. That's genociding our children.
Absolutely.
If they don't know where they came from, they ain't gonna know where they going. So what they decide to do, don't let them study their history. But the California, the Reparations Task Force did a study. And that is a diamond in the rough. We have to fight for this 1,100-page final report.
To be in the schools.
To be in the schools from K through 12. And I yield on that. Black power every second of all. Now, let me introduce the Queen. I know y'all heard a lot of static going on with Lhasa and what's going on with Karen Bass. What we represent here with CJEC is the PCT team, the political change team. We are to remove the COBC members and the ones who are not for us and replace them with the people who are for us. But this is right here is going on a whole another level. Let me introduce a candidate for mayor of LA.
Uh-oh.
Dr. Truthbag.
Yes.
Thank you. That's my brother from another mother. Honestly, CJEC is a family, doing some real serious work, which is why it takes you as a community to be involved. So I'm born and raised in the United States. So my family actually came here in 1636. It's something called the Good Ship Desire. So William Pierce had a cargo ship that brought coffee, cocoa, and sugar and all that good stuff. But this time around in 1636, he decided to bring some Negroes on that cargo ship. And so the first slaves actually didn't come from Africa. They came from the Caribbean. And so being born as a descendant of slave, it means something different. You could do things and say things, and for some reason, it just doesn't resonate. You're not heard. You're looked over. And our children and our children's children doesn't deserve that. So I was raised in Watts, and I lived in New York for quite some time. Tried to shelter my son at the time in 2009 in New York, thinking that's a little bit safer than LA, and nonetheless, he was killed in June 26, 2009. So, since that day, he was not killed by, grown-ups. It was youth no older than he was. Wow. And that's where my political journey started. So these were 16, 17-year-old Latin kings that they were trying to initiate. And my son was just crossing the street, going to the store, wrong place, wrong time. So KJ, Kingdom Warriors Foundation, is a nonprofit that is in his legacy, in his name, not only honoring my son, but many, many, many countless young people who lost their lives all too soon. And to continue to be a voice for them. This is why I urge, no matter what we do, that you focus on your youth, focus on your children. Because at the end of the day, when we are gone and they don't have the tools for them to combat what's out there, whose fault is it going to be? So now we can turn that around with the shift. If you don't really feel the change in the environment already in our favor, yeah, you're living under a rock. Yeah, it's right now, everything is in our favor. See, you young, beautiful lady, the future is yours. That's what we're here for, right?
Yes.
And we want to hear from them and give them a voice. So what does our young people need? They need studios. They want to create music. They want to do podcasting, AI, right? All these churches on every corner need to turn their sanctuaries into studios. That is what the Lord is asking right now. This is a spiritual battle. It's not just a physical one. And we must recognize it as such. So that's why the separation between church and state should have never happened. Because the first church was a corporation. But this governance that you see here has nothing to do with us. And you see it every day. Which is why homelessness became my main target. So returning back to LA in 2010, I walked in my neighborhood, and 111th in Compton, Markham Middle School. And I said, this is how I grew up? When you're growing up in that, you don't really see any difference, but when you come back and return with new eyes as an adult, it's amazing how our young people in these hoods been surviving all this time. From the crack eras of 80s and 90s, still affect us to this day. Mass incarceration, we are overrepresented. Homelessness, we are overrepresented. And only because we are not unified in these political spaces. It's really no magic pill. It just is proactive. It really takes you to do so. So a month ago, a few of my youth groups, they actually came to my home and manhandled me in a way and said, yes, they want me to run for mayor. I wasn't interested in this corrupt system. Okay, I am a Black Liberation Group's Minister of Justice, so I'm not interested in this.
Every hour.
Power to
Every
the
second
people.
of that.
But something inside of me, when they told me that there is a space right now, that what Karen did during the fires, firing the fire chief, can you imagine paying millions of dollars in taxes and not even having water to quench your burning home? That was enough for Altadena, Pasadena, number one. Number two, the homeless crisis, as Bill Saley became U.S. Attorney General, he was the first one that we reached out to and said, I need you to investigate Lhasa. That video that you saw with Maxine Waters, when she came to 115th in Vermont, telling 1,500 homeless Black families to go home. You can't make this stuff up. But this is the type of things that they're telling us year after year, and we're accepting it, but no longer. So in 2026, by hook or by crook, I'm not interested in winning. I'm interested in making a change. I'm interested in shaking up this system, because our children will no longer be casualties of war while they're eating the fats off the land, six-figure income, golfing and playing tea, while we are worried about where our next meal is coming. While we're worried that our sons and daughters may not come back just by playing in the playground. And these are the same politricians that laugh and gee in your face while their kids are in private school, while they make sure that they live in a gated community. $24 billion, family. I was not expecting that number. But when Bill said, he said, yeah, $24 billion. That this one agency, the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, they started in 1996. And they were created by the County of Los Angeles and the city, because the city and the county was blaming each other for homelessness. Have ever you been to Skid Row?
Yeah.
Skid Row was designed and created on purpose, and it stays that way for a reason, because that's where the fentanyl is running. That's where the meth is running. Right there in 6th and Wall. Yeah, I said at the police station. That's right. So when we know these things, we got to make a change. So I said, that area alone, 70% of the people are African American.
Who's assembly member and senator for that area?
McKenna.
McKenna.
It's
But
85% actually.
85%. So to make a long story short, I gave you cards. On the back of it is 2 QR codes right here. The QR code for one is for HR 194, as I mentioned before. It's a petition to sign it, but really the action is pushing it and teaching others about it. Okay? Secondly, the other QR code is as we build. This is for you. This is for the children. We're building a global youth council. As much as I love my seniors and adults, my life is dedicated to the children. So if you have children, they are my bosses. Those are who I work for, and I like to meet with them. So what we're doing not only in the United States is creating a global youth council in other countries, the Caribbean, Africa, Canada, France, South America, North America. These countries where the children are still suffering the same, but we want them to interact. Because ultimately, family, this system is not something that's going to remain. We need to create a new governance. I know it sounds scary, but it's definitely something that must happen. The constitutional rights as human rights is not a law. That's why we still had to march. That's why they still violate us. We are not civil humans, because in 1776 we were still property. Do you think the Constitution amended for us to be free as human? No. They knew what they were doing. That's why they didn't want the Constitution to change, because if it does, that means they will face consequences every time they violated us. And that's the change that I want us to make as a family, my brothers and sisters. We got to start making the change little by little, but we have to be real about things. We got to put the sports away for a little bit, put down the Netflix, and start looking into your local bills. Study your local city council and attend it, be part of it, and let the schools in your areas have a field trip down there. Believe you me, we're going to see some major changes once this connection happens. So with that being said, I'm not going to be long-winded, but I want to say thank God for each and every one of you here today and partake in the reparations conversations and updates. You have specific points of action. And the next one, we'd love to see you here and fill up this room with young people with you as well. But look forward to 2026 elections. As my sister Carolyn Essex, we're running for District 69. I'll be running for mayor of Los Angeles. And there'll be others too that we'll be encouraging to run for office. And if you know someone that should be running for office, give it a try. We need you at the table to make the change. And so with that being said, love you so very much. May God bless you. We'll give it back to Double Law in the car.
All right, round of applause for our two candidates right here. This is what the political change team has done for this short time. We've came up with two huge candidates. This is chess, not checkers. We got to get the COBC out of there. We know that when they go in there, they ain't even joining that. With COB who? They're not joining that. Not that caucus.
We're creating our own.
Then we're going to create our own. It's going to be CJ. They don't want us, like we heard earlier. They don't want us. They don't want to listen to us. They won't even sit down with us. And we're the ones who put this together, AB 3121. So that is just, and salute to Chris. I mean, matter of fact, can everybody just say what's up to Chris, because he tried to come here. He's all the way from Sacramento. His car broke down when he texted me right outside the Bay Area. And he was here last year. But Chris from CJ, salute, bro. Salute to you, man. We love you, man. We got you. We got your back. Who got my back? We got your back. You feel me? Because he didn't make it. But man, that man, he's from Diego to the Bay, no problem. That's how he get down in the team due to Amoye, Raphael, everybody. Like she said, she never missed a salute to Queen. She never missed the task force study. She was always there. And salute to you. When I first saw you, I was like, wow. And when I'm the second, third time, I was like, oh, she always here. All these faces, I see all y'all. And I love this family. CJ, I mean, I'm telling you, when y'all sleeping,
We're up.
2, 3 in the morning, getting ready for things, you know, I'm like, I meet Double R, he's like, hey, so, and like, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I can't go to sleep, I got an event. Double R, go to sleep. Okay, thank you, I'm going to sleep. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, we just waiting to get in these people's face. And it's our ancestors who tell us. It was 2 different things that I saw, those atrocities, that made me, Double R in the core, get on this reparations marathon. I got 5 daughters, a granddaughter, and finally a grandson. But one was, back in the days, they would hang somebody for about 2 days. This 2-year-old baby, a cracker dropped, and I say cracker because they cracked the whip. I got half of that in me anyway, I'm 48%, but I can say cracker. He must have dropped the coin, and the 2-year-old baby was caught playing with the coin. They hung that little girl for not 2 days, not 2 weeks, but 2 months, to let all the rest of the slaves see that you better not touch a coin. She's talking to me. Another one was gator bait. Anybody know what gator bait is?
Oh, yeah.
Gator bait is when they would put a young child on the ridge of a canal or river, and the biggest and baddest gator that they couldn't catch, they was not smart enough to figure out another way, but the gator would come and eat the baby. And then they would bang the head and kill him just to get meat and belts and everything else. So those are the ancestors too, that causes that I can't sleep at night sometimes. Like before I came here last night, I can't, because I love to talk about this. Y'all know when y'all in my chair, when I'm cutting y'all, what I talk about. I'm double R, not Reggie Romaine, but Reparations Reg. You know, I want to get reparations for my people. And it's not just for us, it's for the ones to come. Because once we crack it, it's going to be the wealth, the economic wealth that we're going to leave them. We're going to leave them, and we want our land. We want our land, check, so they can keep their knee off our neck. Rest in peace, George Floyd. So any questions, any comments, anybody want to make before we close up? Oh yeah, one more announcement. I just fired up the oil. I want to bless everybody with my famous fish fry. Here I got 5 loaves and 2 big old fishes, and I want everybody to eat good. And I can, and I ain't got to fry it. I got a grill. I'm gonna grill yours, my brother, because you don't eat fried food. And I got you. And we got the vegan for the vegan people. So you guys stay and get a plate. Let's just chill for a minute. Let's break bread.
We got some videography that we want to do, some Q&A.
Oh, and we need to take a group picture before everything is over with. I appreciate everybody coming. Stay tuned for part 3. Black Power every second of the Mother Father hour. I said Mother Father. Mother Father. No, I said the other one when I'm on my Black Panther movement, but Mother Father.
Praise the Lord.
I yield Black.
Hallelujah. All right, well, we thank you guys again. There's going to be video for you to give your testimony on today. If you just want to say something pertaining on what your thoughts of reparations should be, or what you'd like to be a part of moving forward, we definitely would love to hear from your testimonies after today. All right, so thank you again so much for being here, and I guess wait for the food.
Oh, one more thing. You guys, please go to our website, cjec-official.org. And all you have to do is press get involved. When we send out these call to action letters, it ain't like it used to be. We used to knock on doors and sign this. Now we just read it. It's already pre-written. Read it. And it's going to all the assemblies, senates, commissioners, or committee people, and it's going straight to them and push send. They ask you for your name, your email address, and your zip code. And you can even spread it to somebody not even in California. They can be in Timbuktu, and they can hit these legislators and let them know that we are really watching you guys and we support what CJEC is doing. These letters are powerful. Trust me. We didn't set records. I mean, when we first started, I mean, it was like, I would see maybe 3,000 or something like that when I first got here in May of last year. Now, I think we was up to like 31,000, like the last one we sent. So it's powerful, it's growing. And they need to hear from us, because if they don't hear from us, they're listening to the COBC members, the California Legislative Black Caucus members, who don't want us to get reparations. They don't. Like I said earlier, they've taken that $6 million, that the $12 million that was allocated, they've taken this, come on in. This is my new braider here and her family. Salute, Queen. Salute you guys. I got a new braider in the house. All right. Any more seats back there? Oh.
There's some more chairs.
Some more chairs? Yeah, okay. Okay, all right. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Right, welcome to Rare Essence. Yeah. But, where was I at? Oh yeah, we have to get with these call to action letters that we have pre-written, that's electronic. And all we have to do is read it, push. I mean, and when you go to CJEC, cjec-official.org, wait a couple seconds, and it's going to ask you for your phone number. When it asks you for your phone number, it's going to give you the alerts that we get. So it will send you the call to action letters as we get them. So everybody can be involved. Like I said, you can forward it to your peoples, and not just us in California, but everybody can be a part of it. And these letters are very powerful. It's so powerful that just the last committee they doing what we doing. They had the COBC members trying to do bill that come up to SB 437 and whatever the SB 518. They did what we was doing. But last time I checked, they had about 300 signatures. They're not as powerful as us. We are very powerful. And you guys got to understand, we are the future for reparations. We can't stop, won't stop. It's our ancestors talking to us, through us, to give it to our children. You feel me? So that's all I want to say. Any questions, any comments? Anybody want to make any announcements?
Save them.
You good? You gonna? Well, we
No,
can.
I don't need enough. No, that's all right.
Well, we're gonna break bread
No, I
and
know
rub
it.
some elbows and stuff together. And salute to ETM Media. Salute y'all. Y'all always, and every time when they do have anything in Sacramento, go to YouTube, ETM Media, and YouTube is a live broadcast of my man right here. He always have everything that they doing behind them doors up in Sacramento. And I love them. I mean, when we on there, we chatting, we talking stuff, and he will break it down and talk to us after, you know what I'm saying, and let us know what's going down in Sacramento, whether the bill passed or not, because like the last one, it didn't even pass, because they didn't even have a panel up there, but a forum, but they did the forum the next day, and we lost. We was going against the bill, the SB 437 and the SB 518, 11-2. It passed in favor of Weber's, Lil Weber, I call it Lil Weber, but Akila Weber, which is out of San Diego. That bill is passing, is going through because that was her people, you know what I'm saying? So she's pushing it, they're supporting her. But that's what CJ do. We go back and we look at the footage, we dissect it, and then we turn it against them. And Chris Salute King is the best rebuttal of all time. I'll call him Baby Johnny Cochran. If you look at what he do, he will sit there because he represents us. He's the only one who can sit in that seat and defend, he can oppose what they're saying. Or he can just push our bills too, because it's the SB, and another thing, the SB 1315 and the SB 515. We have to let you guys know about that one as well. That's the one that is going to allow us to be on the application as our own, not just race, but part of people that we are, African American descendants of slaves. So they can start the data and being able to document how many of this 2.4 million blacks in America, in California. About 2.1 are descendants of child slavery. So we have to document that because we are the ones who are going to get the check, because it's not for everybody. That's why we did lineage based. So now on the application, that's what we have to put. And hopefully the SB 515 passed, it will be documented and the data will be there. So, okay, I'm gonna finish with that. I'm glad everybody showed up. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I got 5 loaves and 2 big fishes. So,
Thank you for hosting us here.
Thanks, Ray.
thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
More about action than speaking. Actually, I'm usually behind the camera and I'm not in front, even though, I don't know, I can speak a little bit. But I just want to thank everybody for coming and coming out, because you guys could have done anything else. You guys could have been anywhere, but you're right here getting this knowledge. And most importantly, let's take some actions. So before we go, I usually let my friend Reggie say this, but since I'm up here and I usually don't have a lot of chance to do it, I feel like I got to do it. So let's do it here. When I say reparations, you say now. Reparations?
Now!
Reparations? Now! When I say cut the, you say check. Cut the
check.
Cut the
check.
All right, thank you.
Hey, another one. What do we need? Reparations. When do we need it? Now. Come on now. What do we need? Reparations. When do we need it? Now. I yield. Black power every second of the hour.